Excuse me, ghetto girl, you're in the wrong section. First class is for real people with real money, not welfare queens with fake tickets. Flight attendant Jessica's voice cuts through the cabin like broken glass. She waves her hand dismissively at the woman in seat 2A, shooing her away like an unwanted pest. The passenger, a poised black woman in her 40s, sits frozen as Jessica grabs her designer purse. Is this knockoff fooling anyone? Jessica examines it mockingly, holding it up for other passengers to see. She announces loudly to the entire cabin, "We have a situation up here, folks." Her finger points dramatically. "Security! Remove this person before she steals something." Gasps ripple through first class. Phone cameras emerge instantly. Jessica blocks the woman's movement, speaking extra loud. "Some people think flying coach once makes them belong anywhere." The woman sits perfectly still. Her jaw clenches. Her hands tremble slightly against the armrest. Have you ever been publicly humiliated so viciously that your entire body burned with shame while strangers watched and judged? 6:42 p.m., 18 minutes before takeoff. Dr. Amara Johnson's fingers grip her phone tighter as Jessica's performance continues. The flight attendant's voice carries deliberately through the cabin, ensuring maximum audience participation in this public execution. "Ma'am, we need to see proof of purchase for this seat." Jessica's tone drips with theatrical authority. She snaps her fingers twice. "Come on, let's see it." Dr. Johnson reaches into her briefcase, a subtle Global Aviation Consortium logo barely visible on the leather handle. She produces her boarding pass with steady hands, though her heart hammers against her ribs. Jessica snatches the pass, examines it like a counterfeit bill under harsh light. This could be photoshopped. Corporate fraud is serious business. She holds it up, tilting it back and forth. The printing looks suspicious. A businessman in 3C leans forward. "That's ridiculous. Her ticket looks identical to mine." "Sir, please mind your own business," Jessica snaps. "We're trained to spot irregularities." Dr. Johnson's phone buzzes. "Board meeting moved to 9 p.m. Urgent Meridian Airlines acquisition vote." She glances at the message, then at Jessica's name tag. The irony isn't lost on her. She silences the phone and opens her camera app instead. "Ma'am, no recording?" Jessica lunges forward. "That's against airline policy." "Show me that policy in writing." Dr. Johnson's voice is calm, measured. She continues recording. "I'm documenting this interaction for my own protection." Lead flight attendant Karen appears, drawn by the commotion. She's older, more seasoned in the art of corporate cruelty. "What seems to be the problem here?" "She's refusing to move to her correct seat," Jessica explains, voice rising for the crowd. "And now she's being combative." Karen surveys the situation like a general assessing battlefield terrain. Her eyes sweep from Dr. Johnson to the sea of phone cameras now pointed in their direction. A young woman in 4A live streams openly, her viewer count climbing, 47, 89, 156 viewers, and rising. "Ma'am," Karen's voice carries artificial sweetness, "we need to resolve this quickly. We can't delay departure for other passengers." "I haven't delayed anything," Dr. Johnson responds quietly. "I'm sitting in my assigned seat." "Your assigned seat." Karen draws out the words skeptically. "And you paid full price for first class?" "That's $3,200 for this route." The number hangs in the air like an accusation. Several passengers shift uncomfortably. Dr. Johnson notices their expressions change, doubt creeping in. How could she afford first class? Maybe Jessica has a point. "Yes, I paid full price." Dr. Johnson's voice never wavers. Jessica whispers loudly to Karen, "Probably using someone else's credit card. You know how they are." The casual racism lands like a slap. Dr. Johnson's composure cracks slightly. A muscle in her jaw twitches. The live streaming passenger zooms in, catching the moment of barely contained fury. "Excuse me?" Dr. Johnson's voice drops to a dangerous whisper. "How are?" Jessica realizes she's overplayed her hand. I just meant... No, please continue. How are they?" Dr. Johnson stands slowly, her full height impressive. I'm genuinely curious about your expertise. The cabin falls silent except for the hum of air conditioning and the soft click of recording devices. Karen steps between them, damage control mode activated. Ladies, let's keep this civil. Ma'am, if you could just show us another form of identification. Why? The question cuts through Karen's diplomatic tone. Has any other passenger been asked for additional identification? Karen's hesitation speaks volumes. Around them, first-class passengers exchange glances. The businessman from 3C shakes his head in disgust. An elderly woman whispers to her husband, "This is terrible." But Jessica isn't finished. The power of public attention intoxicates her. Some people just don't know their place in the world. They see someone successful and think they can just pretend to be them. The words hit their target perfectly. Dr. Johnson's breath catches. Her hands ball into fists, then consciously relax. She's been here before. Different context, same poison. 10 minutes until departure, the captain's voice crackles over the intercom. Karen seizes the moment. Ma'am, we really need to resolve this. Security is already on their way. We can upgrade you to first class on the next available flight. Upgrade me? Dr. Johnson's voice carries a dangerous quiet. To the seat I already purchased? Look, lady, Jessica's patience evaporates. We're trying to be nice here. But if you keep causing problems... I haven't said one word until you started harassing me, Doctor. Johnson's composure is steel wrapped in silk. Not one word. The live stream viewer count hits 1-200. Comments pour in. This is insane. Sue them. Get her name! The digital audience grows restless, hungry for justice. Security footsteps echo in the jetway, heavy boots against metal flooring. Jessica smirks triumphantly. Here we go. Problem solved. Dr. Johnson reaches into her briefcase again. This time she pulls out a simple business card, holds it between two fingers like a blade. But she doesn't show it yet. Instead, she makes one phone call. It's me, she says quietly into the phone. Yes, I'm sure. Execute the Meridian acquisition, full board authority, and send the discrimination complaint to the DOT. We have plenty of evidence. Jessica and Karen exchange confused glances. Ma'am, who are you calling? Karen demands. Dr. Johnson ends the call, looking directly at Jessica. Someone who's about to change your life forever. 6:51 p.m. 9 minutes before takeoff. Two security guards stride down the aisle like storm clouds rolling in. Officer Martinez leads, hand resting casually on his radio. Officer Parker follows, clipboard ready. Their presence transforms the cabin atmosphere from uncomfortable to electric. Ma'am, I'm Officer Martinez with Airport Security. His voice carries practiced authority. We need you to come with us. Dr. Johnson remains seated, hands folded. On what grounds? Disrupting airline operations, Karen interjects quickly, refusing to comply with crew instructions. The live stream count explodes. 2,847 viewers. Comments flood the screen faster than anyone can read. Hashtag flight discrimination starts trending in real time. The young woman filming adjusts her angle to capture everything. I haven't disrupted anything, Dr. Johnson states calmly. I'm sitting quietly in my purchased seat. Officer Martinez hesitates. His eyes sweep the cabin, taking in the sea of recording devices. This isn't the clear-cut removal he was briefed on. The crew says you're being non-compliant. Ask them specifically what I've done wrong. The question hangs in recycled air. Jessica shifts uncomfortably. Her earlier bravado evaporates under official scrutiny and digital documentation. Gate manager Patricia Sullivan appears, breathless from running down the jetway. She's older, more experienced in crisis management. One look at the situation tells her everything she needs to know. Lawsuit territory. What's the issue here? Patricia demands, but her tone already suggests she's picking sides. Karen launches into rapid explanation. Passenger refuses to provide proper identification for first-class seating. became aggressive when questioned about ticket validity. Aggressive how? Officer Parker asks, pen poised over clipboard. Well, Karen stumbles. The actual facts don't support her narrative. Dr. Johnson's phone buzzes again. This time, it's a text from her assistant. CNN picked up the live stream. Legal standing by. She glances at the message, then at Jessica's name tag again. The pieces are falling into place perfectly. Ma'am, we can resolve this easily. Patricia tried a diplomatic approach. We'll verify your ticket with the airline system. You mean the same system that issued my boarding pass? Dr. Johnson's voice carries subtle steel. The same system your staff claims is wrong? A murmur ripples through first class. The logic is unassailable. Several passengers nod in agreement. The businessman from 3C stands up. This is ridiculous. I've been watching this whole thing. She hasn't done anything wrong. He addresses the security officers directly. You're about to remove a paying customer for sitting in her seat. Sir, please remain seated, Officer Martinez warns. No, I won't remain seated. The businessman's voice rises. This is discrimination, plain and simple, and you're all participating in it. Other passengers stir. An elderly couple whispers angrily. A young mother shields her children's eyes but keeps recording. The digital audience grows, 4,200 viewers and climbing. Jessica panics. The situation is spiraling beyond her control. She's probably using stolen credit cards. That's why she won't show ID. The accusation explodes like a grenade. Dr. Johnson's composure finally cracks. She stands slowly, her full height commanding attention. Stolen credit cards. Her voice could freeze water. Because a black woman couldn't possibly afford first class legitimately. The words hang in the cabin like smoke. Patricia's face goes pale. Officer Martinez takes a step back. Even Jessica realizes she's crossed a line that can't be uncrossed. I didn't say that. Jessica backpedals desperately. You didn't have to. Dr. Johnson's phone records everything. Your meaning was crystal clear. 5 minutes to departure. All crew prepare for final boarding. The captain's announcement adds urgency to an already volatile situation. Patricia makes an executive decision. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but we need you to deplane so we can sort this out properly. We'll book you on the next available flight, full compensation. No. The single word stops everyone cold. Dr. Johnson sits back down, buckles her seatbelt with deliberate precision. Ma'am, if you don't comply, we'll have to remove you by force, Officer Martinez warns reluctantly. Then you'll be removing the person who just bought controlling interest in this airline. Dr. Johnson's voice remains calm, but something in her tone makes everyone freeze. Jessica laughs nervously. Right, sure you did. Dr. Johnson pulls out her phone, dials a number. David? It's Amara. Yes, the Meridian acquisition closed 5 minutes ago. I need you to patch me through to their CEO immediately. Silence descends like fog. Patricia's radio crackles. Gate 23, this is operations. We're showing unusual corporate activity on your flight. Please stand by. Karen's face drains color. What corporate activity? Dr. Johnson ends her call, looking directly at Jessica. The kind that's about to change your employment status permanently. The live stream explodes. Comments pour in faster than servers can handle. Plot twist. She owns the airline. Jessica about to be fired. The hashtag Amara Johnson CEO begins trending. Officer Martinez's radio crackles again. All units, stand by on the Gate 23 situation. We have unusual circumstances developing. Patricia fumbles for her own radio. Operations. What unusual circumstances? I need clarification immediately, but Dr. Johnson's phone rings first. She answers with the speaker on, ensuring everyone hears. Ms. Johnson, this is Robert Parker, CEO of Meridian Airlines. I understand there's been an incident on Flight 447. The cabin could hear a pin drop. Jessica's face goes white as fresh snow. Karen grabs the nearest seat for support. Yes, Robert. Your crew has provided an excellent case study in institutional bias. I'm particularly impressed with Flight Attendant Jessica's creative approaches to customer service. Ms. Johnson, we had no idea you were traveling today. This is completely unacceptable. No, Robert. This is completely predictable. We'll discuss comprehensive reforms during tomorrow's board meeting. Right now, I need this crew suspended pending investigation. Patricia's hands shake as she raises her radio. Operations, I need immediate crew replacements for Flight 447. Full suspension protocol. Jessica finds her voice, barely a whisper. You can't be serious. Dr. Johnson looks at her with something that might be a pity. I've never been more serious about anything in my life. The security officers step back, suddenly uncertain who they should be protecting. The live stream audience grows to 8,000 viewers. Major news outlets start picking up the feed. Final boarding call. All crew to stations. But there won't be any crew to take stations. Not this crew. Not ever again. Dr. Johnson settles back in her seat, finally opening her laptop. The acquisition documents are all there, time-stamped and legal. 51% controlling interest in Meridian Airlines purchased through her consortium at 6:47 p.m. 7 minutes ago. 4 minutes before Jessica called her a welfare queen. 6:56 p.m. 4 minutes before takeoff. The captain's voice cuts through the stunned silence. This is Captain Rodriguez. All crew members report to the galley immediately. We have new instructions from corporate headquarters. Jessica's legs buckle. She grabs Karen's arm for support, both women staring at Dr. Johnson like she's materialized from thin air. The live stream count hits 12,000 viewers. Comments blur past. Holy shit! This is insane! Jessica's about to get wrecked! Officer Martinez steps forward cautiously. Ma'am, can you provide some identification to verify your claim? Dr. Johnson reaches into her briefcase with deliberate calm. She withdraws a leather portfolio, opening it to reveal not one, but 3 forms of identification. First, a driver's license. Then a corporate ID badge reading, Dr. Amara Johnson, Chief Executive Officer, Global Aviation Consortium. Finally, a Federal Aviation Authority clearance badge. Dr. Amara Johnson, she announces clearly for the recording devices, Chief Executive Officer of Global Aviation Consortium. We acquired 51% controlling interest in Meridian Airlines 18 minutes ago through our investment subsidiary. She pauses, letting the information sink in. The acquisition closed at 6:47 p.m. Jessica's first insult occurred at 6:51 p.m. Patricia fumbles with her radio, voice shaking. Operations, I need immediate verification on corporate ownership changes. This is urgent. The response crackles back within seconds. Gate 23 confirmed. Global Aviation Consortium now holds a majority stake. Dr. Amara Johnson is listed as the primary decision authority. All crew suspension requests will be honored immediately. Jessica collapses into the nearest seat. This can't be happening. This can't be real. Johnson's phone buzzes with another message. She glances at it, then at the growing crowd of recording passengers. My legal team just finished reviewing the live stream footage. We have had 47 separate instances of discriminatory language and behavior in the past 14 minutes. Karen finds her voice, though it wavers. Dr. Johnson, We had no idea who you were. This is all a misunderstanding. No. Dr. Johnson's voice cuts like precision steel. This is exactly what it appears to be. You saw a black woman in first class and immediately assumed fraud. You didn't ask my name. You didn't verify my identity. You made assumptions based solely on my race. The words land like physical blows. Around the cabin, passengers shift uncomfortably. Some lower their recording devices, suddenly aware they've witnessed something profound and terrible. Dr. Johnson continues, her voice gaining strength. Jessica, you called me a ghetto girl and a welfare queen. You examined my personal belongings like evidence of a crime. You announced to this entire cabin that I don't belong here because of how I look. Jessica tries to speak, but only produces a strangled whisper. I didn't mean... You meant exactly what you said. Dr. Johnson opens her laptop, fingers flying across the keyboard. You meant that black women don't belong in first class. You meant that our money isn't as valid as white money. You meant that we should accept second-class treatment and be grateful for it. The live stream audience explodes past 20,000 viewers. #flight. While black trends nationally, news outlets scramble to pick up the story. Officer Parker clears his throat nervously. Dr. Johnson, how would you like us to proceed? You can start by apologizing to me publicly, then removing yourselves from this aircraft. Her tone brooks no argument. You were prepared to physically assault a paying customer based on the word of staff members who never bothered to verify their accusations. Both officers exchange glances, then formally remove their hats. Dr. Johnson, we sincerely apologize for our unprofessional conduct. We should have investigated thoroughly before taking any action. Apology noted. Please leave. They exit quickly, leaving the crew alone with their new owner. The captain's voice returns over the intercom, noticeably different in tone. Dr. Johnson, this is Captain Rodriguez. I need to speak with you immediately regarding flight operations. Patricia's radio crackles again. Gate 23. We have replacement crew en route. ETA 7 minutes. Also, we have media requests starting to come in. Dr. Johnson stands, her presence commanding the cabin's complete attention. The recording devices follow her every movement as she addresses the crew directly. Jessica, Karen, Patricia, you have demonstrated beyond any doubt that Meridian Airlines has systemic problems with racial bias in customer service. Your behavior today wasn't an anomaly. It was learned, practiced discrimination. Jessica finally finds her voice. Dr. Johnson, please. I have 3 kids. I need this job. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Your children deserve better than a mother who teaches them that skin color determines human worth. Dr. Johnson's voice carries no anger, only devastating calm. Your apology isn't to me. It's to every black passenger you've mistreated. Every person of color you've questioned, doubted, or humiliated. Karen tries a different approach. We can be retrained. We can learn. Please give us another chance. You had chances. Every day you came to work, you had chances to treat people with dignity. You chose otherwise. Dr. Johnson pulls out her phone again. My assistant has prepared termination paperwork for all 3 of you. Effective immediately. The finality hits like a gavel. Patricia slumps against the bulkhead. Karen starts crying silently. Jessica stares into space, processing the complete destruction of her career. But Dr. Johnson isn't finished. She opens her laptop again, pulling up financial documents. Meridian Airlines generated $2.3 billion in revenue last year. Customer satisfaction ratings have dropped 23% in the past 18 months. Discrimination complaints increased 67% over the same period. Her fingers dance across the keyboard. The average lawsuit settlement for airline discrimination is $847,000. Today's incident, with live stream documentation, will likely exceed $2 million in legal exposure. The numbers hit the crew like physical punches. They've cost their employer millions before they even realized what was happening. Dr. Johnson continues reading from her screen. Federal Aviation Regulations, Section 382.7, prohibit discrimination based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, or ancestry in air transportation. Violations can result in civil penalties up to $37,000 per incident. Today's behavior constitutes multiple violations. She looks up from the laptop, meeting Jessica's eyes directly. Your actions today didn't just hurt me. They exposed Meridian Airlines to federal investigation, civil lawsuits, and reputational damage worth tens of millions of dollars. The live stream count passed 35,000. Major news networks scramble to contact Dr. Johnson's office. Social media explodes with support and outrage in equal measure. Captain Rodriguez appears at the cabin entrance, his uniform crisp but his face pale. "Dr. Johnson, I need to speak with you about our departure options." "Captain?" She nods acknowledgement. "What's our status?" "We have a replacement crew arriving in 5 minutes. I've reviewed the incident reports. On behalf of Meridian Airlines flight operations, I formally apologize for the unprofessional conduct of our cabin crew." "Noted. What else?" "The FAA is requesting a full report. The corporate is asking for an immediate conference call. And..." He hesitates. "The media is gathering at the gate." Dr. Johnson checks her watch. 7:02 p.m. She's been public enemy number 1 for exactly 20 minutes. Now she's the most powerful person on the aircraft. "Captain, delay departure until the new crew is ready. I want this flight to continue as scheduled with professional service for all passengers." "Yes, ma'am." "And the terminated crew?" "Security will escort them off the aircraft. Their personal belongings will be sent to HR." Jessica makes one final desperate attempt. "Dr. Johnson, please. I know I was wrong. I know I hurt you. But destroying my life won't fix anything." Dr. Johnson turns to face her fully, and for the first time, her composure shows cracks. Not anger. Something deeper. Pain that runs generations deep. "Jessica, you didn't just hurt me today. You hurt my daughter, who will face this same prejudice tomorrow. You hurt my grandmother, who faced it 60 years ago. You hurt every black child who will grow up thinking they have to prove their humanity to people who look like you." The words cut deeper than any shouting could. Jessica's crying becomes audible sobs. "Your life isn't destroyed," Dr. Johnson continues quietly. "Your employment is terminated. You'll find other work, but the passengers you've humiliated over the years, they carry those scars forever." The replacement crew arrives. 3 professional, diverse flight attendants who board with quiet efficiency. They assess the situation quickly, introduce themselves to Dr. Johnson respectfully, and begin preparing for departure. As security escorts the terminated crew past her seat, Dr. Johnson makes one final statement for the live stream audience. This is what accountability looks like. Not revenge, not anger, just consequences that match actions. The aircraft door closes. The new crew takes their positions. The live stream count reaches 50,000 viewers. In her seat, Dr. Johnson finally allows herself a small smile. Justice served at 35,000 feet. 7:15 p.m. Taxiing to runway, Dr. Johnson's phone rings as the aircraft begins its taxi. The caller ID reads, "Robert Parker, CEO, Meridian Airlines." She answers on speaker, ensuring the live stream captures every word. The viewer count has climbed to 75,000. "Dr. Johnson, this is Robert Parker. I've been briefed on the situation. First, let me offer my deepest apologies." "Robert, save the apologies for your shareholders." Her voice carries boardroom authority now. "We need to discuss immediate systemic changes, or Global Aviation Consortium will divest our entire position by market open tomorrow." Silence on the other end. Then, "What? What are you proposing?" Dr. Johnson opens her laptop, pulling up prepared documents. Her legal team has been busy during the 20-minute delay. "I'm looking at Meridian's diversity statistics. 78% of customer service complaints involving discrimination target black passengers. Your staff training budget, $2.3 million annually. Discrimination lawsuit settlements last year, $15.7 million. She pauses, letting the numbers sink in. "You're spending 7 times more on legal settlements than preventing the problems that cause them." "Those numbers..." Robert's voice wavers. "How did you get those numbers?" "Due diligence, Robert. We don't invest $847 million without understanding a company's liabilities." Dr. Johnson's fingers dance across the keyboard. "Current market cap, $2.1 billion. Our 51% stake gives us controlling interest. I could liquidate Meridian Airlines piece by piece if I chose." The live stream chat explodes. Comments blur past faster than anyone can read. "She could destroy the airline. This is power. Jessica picked the wrong one." Robert Parker's breathing becomes audible over the phone. Dr. Johnson, what do you want? Comprehensive reform. Immediate implementation. Full accountability. She pulls up a detailed proposal. First, mandatory bias training for all customer-facing staff. Not online modules. Intensive in-person workshops conducted by qualified diversity consultants. That could cost millions. $8.2 million annually. I've already obtained quotes from 3 vendors. Her voice brooks no argument. Compare that to last year's $15.7 million in discrimination settlements. This is a profitable investment, Robert. And she continues reading from her screen. Second, body cameras for all customer service interactions. Cloud storage, automatic backup, third-party monitoring. Cost, $3.1 million initial implementation, $800,000 annually for maintenance. Body cameras? That seems excessive. Today's incident was live-streamed by passengers. Your crew behaved criminally because they thought no one important was watching. Dr. Johnson's tone sharpens. Body cameras ensure someone is always watching. The new flight attendant, Maria Santos, according to her name tag, approaches respectfully. Dr. Johnson, can I offer you anything? Champagne, perhaps? Coffee, black. Thank you, Maria. Dr. Johnson notes the difference immediately. Professional courtesy, no assumptions, no attitude. Robert Parker's voice returns. What else are you proposing? Third, immediate suspension pending investigation for any staff member with discrimination complaints. Zero tolerance policy with automatic termination for verified incidents. She scrolls through more documents. Your current policy requires 3 separate complaints before investigation begins. That's 3 victims you're willing to sacrifice for every problem employee. Dr. Johnson, union contracts make immediate termination difficult. Then renegotiate the contracts. Your management, Robert. Manage. Her patience wears thin. Fourth, monthly diversity audits conducted by external firms. Results published publicly on your website. Full transparency. The aircraft reaches the runway. Captain Rodriguez's voice crackles over the intercom. Ladies and gentlemen, we're cleared for takeoff. Flight time to Los Angeles is 5 hours, 37 minutes. Dr. Johnson continues her corporate dismantling. Fifth, customer complaint escalation system. Any discrimination allegation goes directly to executive level within 24 hours. No more middle management cover-ups. These changes would revolutionize our entire operation. They would bring your operation into the 21st century. Dr. Johnson pulls up financial projections. Implementation cost, $23.4 million over 3 years. Projected savings from reduced lawsuits and improved customer satisfaction, $67.8 million over the same period. She pauses for effect. This isn't charity, Robert. This is good business. The live stream audience has grown to 95,000 viewers. News outlets scramble to get quotes from aviation industry experts. Hat Meridian reform begins trending alongside #flight while black. Robert Parker's voice sounds defeated. And if we don't implement these changes, then tomorrow morning I will initiate hostile takeover proceedings. I strip Meridian Airlines for parts and sell the routes to competitors. Her tone remains conversational, which makes the threat more terrifying. Your choice, Robert. Maria Santos returns with coffee, served in actual china rather than plastic cups. Here you go, Dr. Johnson. Is there anything else I can get for you? This is perfect, thank you. Dr. Johnson takes a sip, then returns to her corporate execution. Robert, I need your answer within the next 10 minutes. My legal team is standing by with both sets of paperwork. 10 minutes? That's not enough time to consult with the board. The board that just sold controlling interest to my consortium. They've already voted, Robert. This decision is yours alone. Dr. Johnson checks her watch. 9 minutes, 53 seconds. The aircraft lifts off, climbing into the darkening sky. Through the window, city lights spread below like scattered diamonds. Somewhere down there, Jessica is probably updating her resume. Karen is explaining to her family why she lost her job. Patricia is calculating her severance pay. Dr. Johnson, Robert's voice carries resignation. What guarantees do I have that implementing these changes will satisfy your requirements? You have my word that comprehensive reform will prevent divestment. You have no guarantees about anything else. She opens another document. Your current customer satisfaction rating is 2.7 out of 5 stars. Industry average is 3.4. These changes will bring you above average within 18 months. And if they don't, then you'll have spent $23.4 million learning that your problems run deeper than employee training. Dr. Johnson's smile carries no warmth. In which case, liquidation becomes the only remaining option. The live stream count passed 100,000 viewers. Major news networks begin live coverage. Aviation industry stocks fluctuate as investors digest the implications. 7 minutes remaining, Robert. Dr. Johnson, can we discuss the implementation timeline? Some of these changes, non-negotiable. Full implementation within 180 days. Progress reports every 30 days. First external audit in 90 days. She scrolls through implementation schedules. I've already contracted with vendors. Your signature starts the process immediately. This is corporate restructuring on an unprecedented scale. This is accountability on an overdue scale. Dr. Johnson's voice hardens. Meridian Airlines has systemically discriminated against passengers for years. Today you got caught on live stream. Tomorrow, you start fixing it. Her phone buzzes with a text from her legal team. Federal investigation formally opened. DIOT launching comprehensive audit. CNN requesting exclusive interview. 5 minutes, Robert, and now you have federal oversight to consider as well. Department of Transportation just opened a comprehensive investigation into Meridian's customer service practices. Robert Parker's voice cracks. What federal investigation? The one triggered by today's live stream. 127,000 people have now watched your employees racially profile a paying customer. The DOT tends to notice that level of public attention, Dr. Johnson's tone suggests she's reading the weather forecast. Federal investigations tend to be thorough. Dr. Johnson, please, we'll implement everything. Full reform package, whatever you want. Excellent decision, Robert. My legal team will email contracts within the hour. Signature required by midnight tonight. She ends the call, then addresses the live stream directly. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how change happens. Not through anger or violence, but through economic pressure and public accountability. Meridian Airlines will now implement comprehensive anti-discrimination policies because discrimination became too expensive to ignore. The viewer count reaches 150,000. Comments pour in. Queen! This is justice! She just changed an entire industry. Dr. Johnson closes her laptop, finally allowing herself to relax. The aircraft climbs toward cruising altitude. Outside, stars begin appearing in the darkening sky. Justice served at 35,000 feet and climbing. 3 weeks later, Meridian Airlines corporate headquarters. The conference room at Meridian Airlines buzzes with nervous energy. Robert Parker sits at the head of a polished mahogany table, surrounded by department heads and newly hired diversity consultants. The wall-mounted screen displays implementation statistics that would have been unimaginable a month ago. Progress report. Dr. Johnson's voice crackles through the speakerphone. She's participating remotely from her consortium's Chicago headquarters. What's our status, Robert? All terminated staff have been officially processed, Robert begins, consulting his notes. Jessica Martinez, Karen Williams, and Patricia Sullivan received standard severance packages. None contested the terminations after reviewing live stream evidence. And the federal investigation? DOT completed their preliminary audit last week. They found systematic documentation of discriminatory practices dating back 4 years. Robert's voice carries the weight of expensive legal consultations. We're cooperating fully with their recommendations. Dr. Johnson's assistant, David, provides updates via video conference. Media response has been overwhelmingly positive. Customer satisfaction scores increased 34% since implementation began. Stock price recovered and gained 8% above pre-incident levels. The newly hired Director of Diversity and Inclusion, Dr. Keisha Washington, opens her tablet. Body camera implementation is 78% complete across all major hubs. We've recorded over 12,000 customer interactions with 0 discrimination complaints since installation. Training progress? Dr. Johnson inquires. Week 3 of intensive bias training is underway. All customer-facing staff in major airports completed modules 1 through 6. We've identified and addressed unconscious bias patterns in 89% of participants. Dr. Washington scrolls through detailed analytics. The most significant improvements show in staff who initially scored highest on implicit bias assessments. Robert Parker adds, customer complaint resolution time dropped from 72 hours to 18 hours average. Executive escalation protocol handled 23 cases last week with 100% satisfaction ratings on resolution. Through the live stream that started it all, the story has become a case study in corporate accountability. The original video, now viewed over 2.3 million times, includes updates showing Meridian's transformation. Comments celebrate the systematic change. This is how you create real reform. Every company should watch this. Financial impact? Dr. Johnson asks. Chief Financial Officer Martin Torres presents numbers that surprise everyone. Implementation costs are tracking 12% under budget. We're projecting $43 million in savings over 3 years from reduced legal settlements and improved customer retention. Customer demographics shift? Bookings among Black passengers increased 67% since reforms began, Torres continues. Word-of-mouth marketing in communities of color has been extraordinarily positive. We're gaining market share from competitors who haven't addressed similar issues, Dr. Johnson's voice carries satisfaction. Robert, has the board voted on permanent policy adoption? Unanimous approval yesterday. All reform measures are now permanent corporate policy, not temporary compliance measures. Robert glances at his legal team. Additionally, we've shared our training protocols with 3 other major airlines requesting guidance. The transformation extends beyond corporate boardrooms. Jessica Martinez released a public apology video that went viral for different reasons: genuine remorse and personal growth. She enrolled in diversity counseling and now volunteers with organizations combating workplace discrimination. What about the scholarship program? Dr. Johnson asks. The Amara Johnson Aviation Diversity Scholarship launched last week, Dr. Washington reports. Full funding for 25 students annually to pursue careers in aviation management and customer service. Applications exceeded projections by 340%. But the most significant change is cultural. Maria Santos, the flight attendant who served Dr. Johnson professionally during the original incident, was promoted to lead training coordinator. Her first-hand experience witnessing the transformation makes her uniquely qualified to train others. Industry response? Dr. Johnson continues her systematic review. 4 major airlines have contacted us requesting consultation on implementing similar programs, Robert admits. Delta, United, Southwest, and JetBlue all want to avoid their own Meridian moment. The Federal Aviation Administration issued new guidelines based on Meridian's reforms. The Johnson Protocol, as industry insiders call it, requires monthly bias audits and mandatory body cameras for customer service interactions at all major carriers. Dr. Johnson's consortium retained its 51% stake in Meridian, but the relationship evolved from hostile takeover to collaborative partnership. The airline's value increased 23% since implementing comprehensive reforms. Final question, Robert. If you could go back to that evening 3 weeks ago, what would you do differently? Robert Parker pauses, considering carefully. I would have had these policies in place years ago. I would have prioritized human dignity over short-term cost savings. I would have listened to the complaints we've been receiving instead of dismissing them as isolated incidents. Good answer. Same time next week for our monthly review. The call ends, leaving the conference room in contemplative silence. Real change, they've learned, requires constant vigilance and systematic accountability. Justice implemented, one policy at a time. 6 months later, the ripple effect. Dr. Amara Johnson's story became more than viral content. It became a blueprint for systemic change. The original live stream, now viewed over 8.7 million times, sparked what industry experts call the accountability revolution in corporate America. 3 major airlines adopted the Johnson Protocol within 90 days. Hotels, restaurants, and retail chains requested consultation on implementing similar bias prevention systems. The economic argument proved irrefutable. Treating people with dignity generates profit. Jessica Martinez completed her diversity counseling program and now works with the Southern Poverty Law Center, training customer service teams nationwide. Her transformation from perpetrator to advocate demonstrates that even deeply ingrained bias can change with commitment and education. I was that person, Jessica tells audiences during her speaking engagements. I made assumptions based on skin color because I'd never been challenged to examine my own prejudices. Dr. Johnson could have destroyed me completely. Instead, she created an opportunity for me to become better. The Meridian Airlines transformation generated $127 million in positive publicity value, according to marketing analytics firm Brandwatch. Customer satisfaction scores reached industry-leading 4.8 out of 5 stars. Employee retention improved 43%, as staff reported pride in working for an inclusive company. But the most profound impact extends beyond corporate metrics. These black stories, these real-life stories, these touching stories of quiet power confronting systemic bias have inspired similar confrontations nationwide. Passengers now document discriminatory treatment fearlessly, knowing accountability is possible. Dr. Johnson established the Global Dignity Initiative, providing legal support for discrimination victims and consulting services for companies seeking genuine reform. The organization has handled 847 cases across 23 industries, achieving systemic change in 78% of interventions. Power without purpose is meaningless, Dr. Johnson reflects during a recent TED Talk. Real change happens when those with privilege use it responsibly to lift others. The original flight attendants who served professionally during the incident, Maria Santos and her team, received commendations and salary increases. Their contrast with the terminated crew highlighted how easily respect could have been offered from the beginning. Federal legislation now pending would mandate bias training and body cameras for all transportation industry customer service roles. The Johnson Amendment to the Federal Aviation Act has bipartisan support, a rare achievement in today's political climate. Social media continues amplifying similar life stories. #Dignity. In Travel generates thousands of posts monthly from passengers sharing both positive interactions and calling out discrimination. Digital accountability creates immediate consequences for bad behavior. Your voice matters in this movement. Have you witnessed discrimination in travel, restaurants, retail, or your workplace? Document it safely. Share your experiences in the comments below. Support businesses that prioritize dignity for all customers. These real-life stories of courage create change when shared widely. Your experiences, whether victim, witness, or ally, contribute to the growing demand for systematic reform. Subscribe to Black Voices Speak for more stories of quiet power creating loud change. Share this video with friends who need to understand how individual actions can transform entire industries. Comment with your own encounters with bias or moments when you stood up for others. Together, we're writing new chapters in these ongoing Black stories of resilience and victory. Justice isn't just served, it's sustained through your continued vigilance and voice.